Hello and welcome to another episode of The Word for Kids. I'm Jamie and I'm guiding you through the books of Joshua, Judges, and Ruth in a series of 20 episodes. Last time we talked about a man named Gideon, whom the Lord called to save the Israelites from the oppression they were suffering at the hands of the Midianites. Gideon wanted proof he was talking to the true God, so he brought an offering, which the angel of the Lord touched with the tip of his staff. Fire consumed the offering, and the angel disappeared, and Gideon realized he had seen the angel of the Lord face to face. He tore down his father's altar to Baal and made a proper altar to the true God, which angered the townspeople. Then Gideon asked for signs that God would save Israel by his hand. He laid fleece on the ground. The first time the fleece was wet, but the ground all around it was dry. The next time, the fleece was dry, and the ground all around it was wet. And that's where we left off last time. Are you ready for today's adventure? Let's go! Gideon and his men camped at the spring of Harod, and the Midianites camped north of them in the valley near the hill of Moreh. The Lord said to Gideon, "You have too many men. I cannot deliver Midian into their hands, or they would boast, 'My own strength has saved me.' So Gideon announced, 'Anyone who trembles with fear can turn back.' And 22,000 men left. Only 10,000 remained with Gideon. Again the Lord said, 'There are still too many men. Take them down to the water, and I will thin them out when you get there.' Gideon took them to the water. The Lord said, 'Separate those who lap the water with their tongues as a dog laps from those who kneel down to drink.' 300 of them drank from cupped hands, lapping like dogs. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. The Lord said, 'With the 300 men that lapped, I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands. Let all the others go home.'" So Gideon's army had just gone from 32,000 men to 300. God did this so that they would know it was only because of him that they defeated the Midianites. During the night, the Lord said to Gideon, "Get up, go down against the camp, because I am going to give it into your hands. If you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah and listen to what they are saying. Afterward, you will be encouraged to attack the camp." So he and Purah went down to listen. The people had settled in the valley as thick as locusts. Their camels could not be counted any easier than the grains of sand on the seashore. All that means is that there were a lot of people there. Gideon arrived just as a man was telling a friend his dream. "I had a dream," he was saying. "A round loaf of barley bread came tumbling into the Midianite camp. It struck the tent with such force that the tent overturned and collapsed." His friend responded, "This can be nothing other than the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite. God has given the Midianites and the whole camp into his hands." When Gideon heard the dream and its interpretation, he bowed down and worshipped. He returned to the camp of Israel and called out, "Get up! The Lord has given the Midianite camp into your hands." Dividing the 300 men into 3 companies, he placed trumpets and empty jars in the hands of all of them, with torches inside. Gideon and the 100 men with him reached the edge of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, just after they had changed the guard. The 3 companies blew the trumpets and smashed the jars, grasping the torches in their left hands and holding in their right hands the trumpets they were to blow. They shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon!" While each man held his position around the camp, all the Midianites ran, crying out as they fled. When the 300 trumpets shouted, the Lord caused the men throughout the camp to turn on each other with their swords. The army fled, and Israelites from Naphtali, Asher, and all Manasseh were called out, and they pursued the Midianites. Gideon sent messengers throughout the hill country of Ephraim, saying, "Come down against the Midianites." So all the men of Ephraim were called out, and they seized the waters of the Jordan. They also captured and killed 2 of the Midianite leaders, Oreb and Zeb. Midian was subdued before the Israelites and did not raise its head again. During Gideon's lifetime, the land had peace for 40 years. And that's where our story ends for today, which leads us to today's Word of the Day.
Today's word of the day is peace, calm, and quiet. No fighting.
After Gideon and the Israelites defeated the Midianites, they had peace, calm, quiet rest after all they had been through. And now it's time for today's verse to remember. Today's verse is Psalm 27:14. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. One more time. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. Gideon took 300 men against an army so big the people couldn't be counted. It must have seemed impossible. But God was on their side, and God can do the impossible. This was another time God demonstrated his power to do what no one else could do. We may still face things that seem impossible, but the God who was with Gideon is the same God who's with us, and he can still do things that no one else can do. That's all the time we have for today. I can't wait to see you again soon for another episode of The Word for Kids.